Hi, many thanks for dropping by the Authentic Tribe. My name is Mark Newey. Now, who am I and why am I so passionate about why you should join us on the tribe? Well, my initial background was a moderately successful corporate career, and it took me many years to realize that actually that wasn't the environment that was suited to me. It just seemed like the right thing for me to do at the time. So I left and set up my own training company. And we provided training in leadership and that sort of thing to corporate clients, mainly due to the contacts that I had in my earlier career. Initially, we were extremely successful, and then spectacularly unsuccessful. We went bust. And I entered a very dark period of my life. And if I'm really honest with you, I pretty much had a nervous breakdown. Now, I got out of that emotional turmoil by training in the neurosciences, i.e. how the mind works. And I realized that if I could do that for myself, if I could pull myself out of that mess, then I could help other people turn their lives around too. So I then set up my own behavioral therapy practice, and have spent the last 10 years seeing about 3,000 people, helping them to beat stress, anger, depression, eating disorders and that sort of thing. Now, that experience has taught me three main things. I studied all that time very academically how the mind works, but more importantly I got very hands-on practical experience of how the mind works. And as I say, that taught me three main things. Firstly, my clients were normal people, just like you and I. Their lives simply weren't working. And interestingly, the problems that they had in their lives were normally very similar. Most of the problems really boiled down to very similar sorts of things. And my typical client would say to me, well, Mark, you know, I've got a job, I've got a nice house, I've got a wonderful family, but I'm still anxious, I'm still stressed. What's wrong with me? Am I ill? Well, of course they're not ill. They're just not living their lives authentically. They're not living their lives true to themselves. They're not living their lives in a way that enables them to be happy. Now, the second thing I learned is that happiness, and indeed the basis of any self-development work that people do, the basis of that is self-awareness. It's actually understanding ourselves, and then from that is getting self-esteem. Now, unfortunately, with the way the world is at the moment, the turmoil that society's in, that's actually very difficult to find out, because we're all on a treadmill running like crazy, trying to pay the bills at the end of the month. And it's very difficult to step off and actually have a look at our lives and what it is that we want. And actually, that sort of information can be passed on to people online and in groups. And that is now my passion, is to reach people before they need to get to go and see a therapist. Because that knowledge, that introspection, looking at yourself and what makes your life work, what makes your life passionate, that's something that's very easily passed on. And the third thing that I learned was that it's people, it's relationships, and it's a sense of community that makes us happy. It's not money, and it's not the things that money can buy. And indeed, in the last 10 years, that's exactly what, in most people's lives, has actually declined drastically or even evaporated completely. A sense of community, particularly a community of like-minded people. And so, Authentic Tribe was born. Authentic Tribe will provide a group of supportive people, like-minded people, just like you and I, who are wanting to change the way they live their lives. So it's a community and it's support. It will enable you to get that self-awareness, to get that self-esteem, and make your life the passionate life you know it should be. So please do come and join us.